Minus up.
Konami was God in the 8-bit days. Don't get me wrong, Konami's still a cool company now, but think back. Now who in the world does not know the Konami code for 30 men at the beginning of Contra? Hell, in my town there was a rock band called the Konami Code. They even sang a song called Up Up Down Down, etc., etc., you get the idea. Anyway, the point is, Konami went through a phase where they could put out the dumbest game and it would end up in everyone's NES collection. That said, today we're going to look at one such title. Brace yourselves, everyone. This is Bayou Billy.
Where'd you get your hands on Konami's new video game? Sorry, me, that raging character. Bayou Billy, for the first time ever, Konami combines hand-to-hand combat with driving, shooting, and of course attacking. In one swamp, stomping adventure. The Adventures of Bayou Billy for Nintendo. It all starts when I get out this here swamp. You really give me wild now.
Everyone who was around to see NES games coming out for the first time no doubt knows about this game because of Konami's relentless ad campaign. But most of the opinions I've read from the net from classic game fans are negative. Before we get into all that, let's take a good look at what we got here. So Bayou Billy, or Mad City as it was called in the Famicom, had one thing that was very special about it at the time. It contained beat-em-up stages and driving stages, and to top it all off, you even got to use your zapper. But you could still play it if you didn't have one. And to the game's credit, none of the flaws stem from this formula. So Bayou Billy's girlfriend Annabelle gets kidnapped by the evil gangster Gordon and taken to his estate. You start out fighting your way out of the swamps of the Louisiana Bayou, and eventually you hop into a jeep and drive to none other than the famous Bourbon Street, and eventually the gates of where Gordon is keeping your girlfriend. So let's give this game a spin. Alright, so we start with the beat 'em up stage. Something seems to be off about this though. It's like I can't quite control Billy right. Well, that's the problem. There's no way to defeat the enemy without taking a certain amount of hits. While that may not sound bad, think back to Mega Man. Mega Man was harder than calculus, but everyone loved it. Why? Because you can control Mega Man perfectly. This gave you the impression that if you died, it was your own fault. You just had to try one more time to get it right. In Bayou Billy, that feeling isn't there. I mean, try all you want, you're not getting through that first stage without taking a beating. They try to balance it out by leaving you health bonuses in the form of these ridiculous turkeys. But in later stages, that just isn't enough. And this isn't only true of the beat-em-up stages, the zapper stages are a mess as well. Look at this. How in the heck am I supposed to beat this guy? One guy shoots bullets like a madman that I can't avoid, while the other throws knives at me. Give me a break! And it doesn't stop here. Let's take a look at the driving stages. Alright, it's Rad Racer time now. So away you go, and at first this stage is super cool, but the slightest touch and you're dead. A whole life down the tubes. Now at least in the beat-em-up stages I had to kick the tar out of you before you lost a life. Now you can drop 3 lives in under 30 seconds. And this is insanity. Despite all the difficulty, I still loved this game as a kid. Once upon a time I could make it all the way to the highway stage before I finally lost the last life of my last continue. Yeah, these days I don't believe that either. Difficulty doesn't necessarily make it a bad game, but why make it this hard? I read somewhere that there was an episode of the cartoon Captain N where they said Bayou Billy was the one game even Captain N couldn't conquer. I don't know why they made it this hard, but I do know that Mad City, the Japanese version that came out a year earlier, was easier. I never played it, but it's supposed to have fewer enemies, more power-ups, and the driving levels are straight only, no turns. And you can get hit several times before blowing up, and I gotta say, this would have saved the game. Konami really had something here. This was a game I could honestly say I wanted to see what the next level was like. Bayou Billy was a character I could get into as a kid. I mean, in 1989, who wouldn't want to morph into Paul Hogan and punch a crocodile right in the face? On top of all that, as a kid, I really dug the soundtrack in this game. But there were just too many flaws. Flaws shouldn't be what makes a game hard. That's just not how it works. So in conclusion... No, I'm going to keep going. So in conclusion, this is still a nice game to have in your collection because of its variety, charm, and edge. And let's not forget, this is 1989. A good 80% of the games on the NES were real colorful, child-friendly experiences. Now here's a game that had fist fighting, cleavage, and let's not forget this image, which gave me nightmares to high heaven when I was a kid. Just remember, as soon as you're done playing, you're going to want to play something a little lighter, like, say, chess.
I've flown around the world in a plane. I've danced flamencos, pasodobles in Spain. You know the North Pole I've charted, but I can't get started with you. What to do? Baby, I'm so blue. On a golf course, I'm under par on a nice day. Metro Goldwyn has asked me to start.